good, the bad, and the odd. Well, if they must.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd with your host, Marcus Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello there.
Right, so this week, this episode, we're doing your free choice, and you
Mm.
picked Predator Badlands.
Mm.
Now, I think we've covered Killer of Killers. Have we covered Prey? We covered Prey, right?
Yeah, we definitely
Yeah,
covered Prey
yeah.
and the Killer of Killers.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So here we are. We're back with Dan Trachtenberg, who did Prey and Killer of Killers, didn't he? Is that
I think
right?
he did part of Killer of Killers.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Prey he certainly did,
oh no,
right?
he was fully the director for it. So
And he then came on to this one. Now, this one always intrigued me because when I heard about it, it's like, is that a full film? That seems weird because it's basically from the point of view of a predator. A predator is the protagonist in this one, and I wasn't convinced it would be I can't say the word sustainable. Right? I was wrong. I was clearly wrong.
yeah.
However, I went in with that expectation. It kind of, I think, distorted the film a little for me. So I actually enjoyed it even quite a bit more on rewatch. And there was no difference. It was just like exactly the same film. It's an expectation thing. This was a first watch for you, right?
Yeah, this was first time watch for me.
What did you think? Before we get into spoilers, what did you think of it?
I really enjoyed it. Lots of really good action, really good story, and very good acting from everyone involved. Lots of good, very. I don't know if they were practical, but practical looking effects.
Yeah, if they weren't practical, it was hard to tell. I mean, you could see the CG on the spaceships flying about, and things like that, when they were above land, not in the space. In space they're fine, but when they're flying above land and stuff like that. Also, I could not tell what was real. Was it real jungle? Which bits were set, or if any. There must have been some in the studio. It was rather well done. And I have to say, I think Elle Fanning really delivered on this. She played two roles basically, and she delivered very well. I thought she was very good.
It's actually quite a limited cast.
It's a small, tiny cast, isn't it? It's about 7.
Yeah,
I'd say as a guess. And that probably more if you include the computer voices and things like
3 of which are predators. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yes, and there's a few other predators which must be stuntmen or something. All right.
They're like background, sort of,
Yeah.
like literally not really in the story. So
Yeah.
So the film really. We're going to go into spoiler territory now.
Well, let's not. Let's
No?
just say,
Okay.
just a big recommend. Would you?
Yeah, big recommend.
I've forgotten what it was on. Was it Disney Plus? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's up on Disney Plus.
We seem to have everything. We seem to have all the Predator stuff.
Well, they own 20th Century Fox.
Yeah.
20th
Weirdly,
Century
though,
Studios.
I'm sure there was a couple. When this film came out, I actually looked and see what other Predator stuff was on Disney Plus, and there was a couple missing. Like, I think Predator 2 wasn't there. And things like that, but they all seem to be there now. They're all there, which is great if you like your Predator. And Predator as a franchise hits quite high. We'll talk about this at the end, maybe. But as a franchise, it does well.
It averages out into being a good film series.
Yeah, and I think there's some real and the good is really good, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah.
So it did first appear on Disney Plus sometime. I think November-ish.
It was within the last couple of weeks.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to remember if I saw it at the cinema or if I saw it. I don't know.
You telling me you saw it at the
Yeah,
cinema.
but I'm not. I cannot remember now. I think I probably did, if it was in the cinema. I remember it, but then when I looked, it had a limited release. And I was like, did I?
I think it came out like.
Oh no,
late
it grossed
January,
120.
early February. So.
What I'm going to do is... No, I won't. I was going to say I could look in my letterbox and see the date of the first review, but it doesn't really matter. Right, let's get into spoilers. Right, so
Yeah.
continue at your own peril if you haven't seen it. So one of the things that's interesting is it develops way more the Predator sort of society, naming even.
Yeah.
Yautja is what these are called.
Yeah, they've been
Now,
that in the comics for quite a while.
yeah, it was.
Uh,
It did start in the comics. Apparently, I looked into this. It's first those terms were first used in a graphic novel called, or a set of comics called, Alien versus Predator, Prey.
mm,
Interestingly,
yeah.
yeah, so here we have the Yautja, and given that this actor has got a full mask or makeup on
Mm,
with CG overlays, unless there's some really impressive practical effects going on, I'm not quite sure. Is that good? Really well acted, I'd say.
yes.
It was
Yeah.
work.
Very physical performance by
Yeah,
Demetrius Schuster,
yeah.
or by Kolo Amatagi Tangi.
Yeah, there's a
So,
lot of New Zealand actors in this.
yeah.
For example, the father is played by um, a wrestler,
Yeah.
a New Zealand wrestler. Um, um, so he is Ruben de Jong, a
Yeah.
heavyweight kickboxer. Sorry, not a wrestler. My mistake. Oh, strongman and professional wrestler of Dutch
Yeah.
descent, but he's
I
based in
think he
New
was also
Zealand.
in Spartacus, if I
Oh, okay,
remember
okay, I haven't seen that. So
correctly.
yeah.
But yeah.
Um, the
Yeah.
main characters we're dealing with, though, are Elle Fanning as Thea and Deck, the young Yautja,
Yeah.
who's kind of been cast out or
Yeah.
escaped. Let's put it that way. Um,
Yes. So the film opens with him in combat with his brother, like
yeah,
in just mid-fight with his brother.
yeah. And the
And
dialogue within the fight establishes this, doesn't it?
yeah,
You know, we do before all that. It says the name of the planet, and I can't remember what it is. Oh,
Yautja
Yautja,
Prime.
Yautja, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And we see it's a tough environment. There's little bugs being eaten by big bugs, eaten by bigger bugs. So you
Yeah.
get the idea. This is a tough old planet before anything else starts.
Mm,
But they are fighting, as you say.
mm.
And the dialogue within the fight, which is subtitled, they have their own language. They
Yeah.
developed a
The
language.
Predators don't speak any English, even as like a just a flat translation. It's a purely subtitled with
Yeah.
their sort of growls and clicks.
And we established their siblings by the fact they're fighting,
Mm,
and the bigger one, the bigger brother, the older brother, I guess,
mm.
is it says things like
You're trying to fight like father.
father,
Don't fight like
like
father. Fight
father,
like
like
Deck.
you, like Deck, yeah, and Deck is the our
Yeah.
main protagonist here. So but he doesn't win the fight, does he? But he's
No,
kind of
he
got some
gets
moves. He's pretty
kicks
good.
about. Yeah.
So basically, he then sits with his brother and he says, "What can I hunt to sort of prove myself to the clan? Because he's not officially part of the clan
Yeah.
until
No,
he
he's not
performs
come of
succeeds."
age as such.
Yeah,
He's just he's because he's they literally describe him as a runt in this, and he is about a foot shorter than any other predator
everyone
that
else,
gets
but
shown.
he's lean, right?
Yeah, and very lean. So he's
And it and they
yeah.
start rolling through things he can hunt that's worthy prey, and they center on one called the Kalisk, which
Mm,
is on the so-called death planet Jenna. All right,
yeah.
wow. Um, and his brother says even father cannot
Is scared of the callus. Yeah.
Kalisk, and he said, "Well, that will be my trophy." Right,
Yeah.
but as all they're deciding this out, a, a massive predator turns up. Who is the father?
Yeah, he's just
Nyor?
stood
Nyor?
outside. Yor, yeah,
Nyor? And
Yor,
basically he said, I
something like
should have
that.
killed him at birth. He's a runt and all
Yeah,
this. And the brother's like, no, no, you gotta
like let him hunt
let him hunt.
if he's either successful or it's not our problem anymore, sort of
Yes.
thing.
Which is, in many respects, the Predators remind me of how the Klingons are sometimes presented. There's
Yeah.
some similarities, right? They were a warrior race who proved themselves through combat, right?
Mm,
Um, even though they all use all this mad tech as well, and it
yeah.
looks like the last thing you get when you are officially accepted into the clan is your cloak, your
Yes.
invisibility
The
cloak, right?
yeah.
So he's basically earning new things by doing hunts. You know, you're only
Yeah.
given certain tech, and his brother's giving him the
He,
shoulder cannon, isn't he? Or
yeah. So
Um,
while he gives him the shoulder cannon, the shoulder cannon doesn't really come into it.
no, it doesn't.
Deck only really uses a like this grappling hook thing that he has, but he even only uses that for a little bit, and a big sword that he gets
And
kind of flips
a
out.
boomerangy, well,
Yes,
almost like a batarang rather than a
yeah,
boomerang.
it's the glaive from previous
Yeah, it's a
Predator
glaive.
films.
Yeah.
I will say I'm not quite a fan of the new Predator tech aesthetic, all the glowing red stuff that they have.
With
It
this
just
glowing
doesn't
red
kind of,
sword and the bow,
yeah.
isn't it? It's a bow as
And
well.
yeah, there's a bow that he loses quite quickly, but
Yeah,
there's also like the spinner now has a big red glowing light on it.
yeah.
The
It's a giveaway, isn't
swords,
it? That's the
yeah, the
thing.
swords all have big glowing edges. The shoulder cannon still shoots blue, and the trap that in this scene, Njor traps Deck in this like restraint that's like red lasers that sort of
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
drag him into a kneeling
Yeah, I
position.
have to say it doesn't bother
Like,
me, but I can kind of
yeah,
see it. It doesn't look very
it's too
stealthy, does it?
weirdly. I think it's too high tech for the Predators.
Yeah.
It just doesn't match what we've seen in the previous films. Like
Uh,
there are a lot of like blade and spear sort of guys.
yeah, they got a big spear coming out their arm,
Yeah, wrist
attack
knives, that
armor.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a load of that. Um, so the brothers, we also see inside his brother's ship, and
yeah,
there we see like a T-Rex skull and a human skull and spine and a few other
yeah.
things. We don't see an alien. It's not
No,
that, but we do
I actually
see.
read some behind the scenes stuff. They pointedly, while they wanted to basically confirm that the two settings are in the same universe.
Yeah,
They didn't want the aliens overshadowing anything. That's why it's
no,
just Wayland Yutani, and there's
no.
no actual alien presence.
And the point of a T-Rex suggests they have a time travel ability,
Might not.
possibly.
The thing is, it might
Or
not
is it
be a T Rex. It might just be a
a
big
big?
skull from some sort of
Okay,
lizard
fair
creature.
enough.
So,
Yeah. Because they hunt all over the
yeah.
galaxy, right?
But you get, listeners, you understand what I mean when I say it's a big T Rex skull.
It
So,
does look like a T-Rex skull.
yeah.
So the father does turn up and sort of declares, "We'll just kill him."
Yeah, we're just killing Deck,
Why?
and
Why
he
haven't you?
traps
I
him.
think he says something like, "Why haven't you completed this yet?" Is he meant to be completing his training or send him? I don't quite know.
I think.
Something.
Well,
The father has lost patience, right?
yeah, he's supposed to be killing him. I think is
So
the
is
implication there
yeah.
with the brother. Like
Um.
the brother's been told to kill Deck, and the brother's gone. No, he should hunt and either
Yeah.
die or come back victorious. But his
So the,
father's having none of it, and immediately
yeah.
traps Deck in like these bindings, and commands
Deck's
the brother.
roaring, isn't he? Roaring his
Yeah.
face off. Yeah, I have just want to talk about this, the face effects. Really
Mm.
good. I mean, it
Yes. Yes.
looks
Yes. Yes.
totally real. It's moving like it's real. I couldn't work out. I mean, I think some of it definitely is a CGI augment on his face, but I
Yeah.
think that there's a few scenes where it's entirely practical, where there's not much movement. But I could be wrong. I just do
Mm.
not know. It looks really good though.
Yeah, I think I said this to you while we were watching it. It's like most of the head looks practical.
Yeah,
It's only really the mandibles that don't, but it's
yeah.
very much a case of that could just be a deliberate bit from the animatronics guys. So
Who knows? I mean, it looks really
yeah,
good. They've done really well here. You soon forget. You just forget. It fades
yeah,
away, which is a sign that it's good stuff because it's not taking you into some sort of uncanny valley or taking you out of the film by looking. Oh, that's some CG. There's none of
mm,
that. There's none of that. So the father tries to kill him, but the brother gets in the way.
yeah.
Basically
He
starts to fight the fight.
intervenes.
He intervenes,
Yeah,
let him have his hunt, and he even once Deck gets out of the trap, and I can't remember how the trap. I don't know if the
the
brother
brother
released.
stabs the trap and then
Oh
spins
yeah,
around to fight the father.
as if to behead him, but then he actually cuts the trap loose. He also attaches something to Deck, which drags him into his brother's
Yeah,
ship, and then closes the doors so he can't get
yeah,
out. And it's a clear doors so he can actually see what's
yeah.
going on as his
And it's
brother is fighting the father. And the father's
yeah.
just a beast.
The father slashes his arm off, slashes the brother's arm off,
Off, yeah,
which and pins him to the ground. It's like, and his brother getting out of this basically has a chance to grab either a sword or the sort of wrist-mounted control panel for his ship.
And he go,
And he
yeah,
grabs the control panel and launches it, and it goes. And
which
as
fires.
his father
Yeah.
decapitates him. So,
Now they'd preset the course for the Callis planet, Jenna, didn't they,
mm,
before all this? So he immediately fires off, and the father's quite annoyed.
mm,
But he goes off, flies to Jenna, and it's basically a crash landing, right? He's got
yeah,
no real control of this.
yeah. So before they even reaches the planet, he goes through an asteroid belt, which kind of messes the ship up.
Mm.
Then it drops. If he hops into an escape pod, because the ship's totaled. And then that pretty much gets knocked out of the sky as well. So, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Deck lands on the planet. He's got some of his tech, but he doesn't know where his ship is because he kind of
Mm.
got ejected, kind of thing from
It's
it.
kind of funny. They have like a whole little montage of him like prepping all of his equipment. So he's got like his big like laser sword and his massive bow and all this stuff. And he turns around to go back to his thing. And you see all these tentacles come down and start like picking up the
Yeah,
equipment.
yeah. There's
And
the
he turns
plant,
around.
plant
Yeah,
or animal, or whatever it is
yeah.
basically takes him on in a fight, doesn't it? And
Yeah, and he basically only gets the sword back.
yeah,
So,
and then he starts encountering what this planet is like, and it's pretty awful. There's
mm,
one bit he goes through this field where there's this like almost like gigantic. I don't know. They look a bit like hyacinths or something, but giant versions.
mm,
But they all got spikes sticking out of them, and they keep
yeah,
swelling up when you get near them. Whenever you make any movement, they start to swell. And as this is going on, we encounter for the first time Thea, don't we?
mm,
Who is a synth organism
yeah.
trapped in
She's like
like a wreck
pinned
of a
to,
ship. Yeah, she's pinned
yeah,
down. Her bottom half is missing completely.
yes.
Top half,
She's kind of walking around like the robots in, is it Dark Star?
no, oh,
You know what I mean, though.
running. Yeah, the Bruce Dern one, right? Oh,
Yeah,
what's it called? Oh, that's going to annoy me. Yeah, Huey and Dewey and Louie, those three
yeah,
robots, right? Silent Running. Silent Running.
yes,
So I haven't seen that film in ages. Need to watch that again.
yeah,
But she's calling out to Deck what to do, and he seems to be able to understand English.
yeah,
She says, and basically there's this big flying creature. Looks a bit like the flying things in Avatar. Really, it's flying around and dropping large rocks in the middle of the field near Deck, which causes these flower things to start spitting their darts out.
explode. And they do specify that these have like neurotoxins on them.
Yeah, she says it's trying to get you stung so you pass out and it can just come and pick you up. It's
Yeah,
basically deliberately trapping you. She tells him this, and he's like getting really angry and ignoring her and
yeah,
all this. And I can't remember the specifics, but essentially goes, if you give me this, I can help you.
mm,
But he kind of starts to pass out. But she does manage to get to him and help him out,
mm,
and sort of patch him up. Um, and essentially, Deck is not happy. With this interaction. He's saying, you're, we are not companion. You're
yeah,
nothing to me. He goes, well, I can help you. Treat me as a tool. And he's like, a tool? Yeah, I could use a tool. That's okay. I can. It's like that, right? Um,
yeah. It's less. She's saying like, let me help. I need to do stuff. A synthetic like me can help out like in a lot of ways. And he goes, oh, you're just a tool.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
how he rationales it in his mind. So it's
yeah,
okay. We can continue like this,
yeah.
but
She
he
does
does
not
find out.
suggest the tool thing. So
That's correct. You are right.
yeah,
He does find out that her entire team and her were attacked by the Kalisk, so
yeah,
which is what he's hunting, and he offers to help be the tool to track the Kalisk.
mm,
Um, in their adventures, they're encountering this weird planet. Isn't there a bit they like run through these? I don't know, like arrow eel things.
yeah,
And they're firing dart. It's a bit Indiana Jones. And then she says stop, and she just throws a handful of berries, and these eel things, lamprey things, just scuttle onto whatever she throws. She goes, all they wanted was food. That's all they wanted.
mm,
She's trying to teach him about the planet, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
um, but while they're on their trek, a little sort of, I don't know, ape-like creature. Would
Yeah,
you
so
say?
they come across this big field of like what
Oh,
they call
razor grass.
yeah, the razor grass. And reach a point of like Deck's gotten hungry, but he sees these big like herbivore creatures sort of like milling about in the razor grass, completely unaffected by it.
Yeah,
And he's starts to like plan. Him and Thea start to plan out what they're doing, and the little monkey thing shows up and just kind of rolls into the grass and starts chasing the thing about.
yeah. And she says, "You're never gonna be able to catch it." And Deck says, "You give up too easily," which is a
Yeah,
refrain he keeps using every time she says, "You're not going to be able to do this." You give up to, and he's constantly, he's he can move through the trees, for example,
yeah,
quite easily, and get some high ground on these things, and essentially baits one out of the grass, doesn't he? And
yeah,
it charges him, and he essentially cuts it in two halves with his sword by going under it and just in a Legolas kind of move.
yeah,
Uh, and does he run on its back at one point? No, that's the Calisk, isn't it? When he finally meets the
yeah,
Calisk. So essentially, they've got something to eat. So they're sitting by the fire eating. He gives Bud a bit, I think.
yeah.
Oh yeah, they name this thing
Yeah,
Bud.
well, Thea names it Bud
Bud.
because it's their little
Um,
buddy.
but it
So,
spits on it, Deck, and she's like,
yeah,
they realise that that's kind of a marking him as a friend or
perfect.
family or
Yeah,
part of the
it's an
same
affectionate
group.
symbol.
Because
Uh,
at some point, and I can't remember the specific point, I do remember Thea talks about wolves and the wolf pack and how
yeah.
they
So
look
the
after
alpha,
each other.
yeah, the strongest, the alpha protects the others.
Yeah,
This is a yeah, basically that's the unsaid part there. But
yeah,
yeah, so they end up tracking the Kalisk for quite a while. They end up abandoning Bud just because it's like yeah, it's too dangerous for Bud to come along.
yeah.
Um,
And
Monkey.
yeah, they're starting to bond somewhat, right?
Yeah,
Even though Deck won't have any of that, and at times he's still quite a dick.
yeah,
Um, but the fact is, she's teaching him about something different, a different way of approaching things. As a pack rather than a
mm,
lone, things like that. Um, um, so Meanwhile, we also then see Wayland Yutani are involved. We haven't mentioned them yet. Wayland Yutani, those
yeah,
bunch of dicks, are involved, um, and we get an equivalent, an identical sort of
yeah.
twin.
Another L fanning.
Yeah,
So
called Tessa, who has been damaged, um,
yeah,
um, but
and
she
gets quite quickly healed up by
yeah,
the
by these other tech. Now, every other android we see apart from these two are a man. It's the same man. Um,
yeah. It's all the
um,
same guy.
it's all the same guy. So there's a lot of CG around that, and it works great. You can't tell, Um, so well, it's probably CG to put the composites together. It's that kind of thing.
Mm,
She's basically mother is disappointed. It's all that the company is disappointed in
yeah,
you, and all this kind of stuff. We got our primary mission, and at this point, it kind of emerges their primary mission is to try and capture the Kalisk because it has massive regeneration powers, and they can use it as
yeah.
either a
It's a
bioweapon or
bioweapon,
research
I would say.
to regenerate people. Because there's always been a Wayland Yutani thing that how do we keep our owners from dying? There's that kind
Yeah,
of thread in a lot of Wayland Yutani, and the Prometheus and all that sort of stuff. It's always been there, so that's kind of important to them.
yeah,
But we also see they've got this massive kind of base. Wayland Yutani got this base with all these androids, but they're there really to get the Callus. That's all they're interested in.
yeah.
Um, um, and essentially, Tessa is
Tessa's been
you
threatened.
don't get the
Like,
job done, you will be decommissioned,
yeah,
right?
both you and Thea will be decommissioned.
Yeah. Um, so she's
So,
kind of that's added some edge to it, all right.
yeah,
And we also find out they've been deliberately programmed with emotional abilities so they
yeah.
understand creatures they're dealing with better. That is
Mm,
a thing in this, which means that Thea is sympathetic to Bud and Deck,
Yeah.
and things like that, right? So that's an interesting
Yeah.
addition. Very
Well,
minor
Tessa,
thing
on
in
the
the
other
script,
hand,
but a good
hates
addition,
them.
right?
Yeah. She also feels emotions. Tessa just hates them.
Yes, Tessa's
Yeah.
emotion is hate, right?
Yeah.
Um, um, so Deck finds his crash ship. Um, oh no,
No,
Tessa.
Tessa, while
Tessa
searching, finds his crashed
finds the
ship.
crash ship, including all his clever stuff,
Yeah.
including his freezing grenades.
Yeah.
It's got freezing grenades. So they then come across the remains of Thea's team for elsewhere, and she manages to get on a table, and it start
With
repair.
her
Well,
legs.
they
Yeah.
find her legs, or bottom half, I should say,
Yeah.
and it
And there's a
starts
very
to
funny
all
bit
together.
where she's going like that. Ah, there you are. And it's
There
just
you
her
are, and the legs
legs.
are like have got their own sentient abilities. But she's getting patched together, and she's nearly patched together. However, Deck then finds the Kalisk, this massive creature, really massive creature.
No, she
That's
she try just to be clear, she tries to warn him away from fighting the Kalisk,
yeah,
like first, because she's like, yeah,
you
we're
can't
first
kill
off,
it.
we're kind of a bad company. Like you don't want to be around here because me doing this has already started the recovery. So
Yeah,
they're gonna be here soon.
so just leave. Yeah, but
Yeah, just
Deck
leave.
will not. All he's got is his
He
sword
gets
at this
mad at
point.
her, like
Yeah,
he's fuming with
you
her.
give up too easily. It's all that, right? But
No,
basically.
he's mad that she like
Oh
pulled more
yeah,
people into it.
she's sent out the beacon. Yes,
Yeah,
the warning. But Deck then pulls out his sword and starts trying to fight with the Kalisk, and he does pretty well actually.
yeah,
He's wounding it, and then finally, but
yeah.
he's also
Aesthetically, the callus kind of is just a big furry rancor.
yeah.
But
Yeah, in
yeah,
many respects. But he does manage to chop his head off, which makes him believe he has won. Because as talked about earlier, I will bring back the skull of the Kalisk.
yeah,
They always bring back as a skull. That's their trophy on these hunts.
mhm,
However, we do see the body of the Kalisk suddenly starts sending out tendrils and
yeah. And the head
reattach.
pulls itself
Which
back
is why
on.
you can't beat the Kalisk. It's essentially a Hydra, right? It just keeps
Yeah,
regenerating. And he's like, and basically it traps him, puts a foot on him, but then sniffs him. Like
yeah,
it recognizes the scent. At this point, did you realize what was going on at this point? Or
yeah. I
yeah,
realized that Bud was a baby Callisk.
the spitting on Deck gave him the scent, meaning he's one of us, kind of thing, which
Yeah,
meant the Calisk wasn't going to kill him. It just sort of inspected him. Um, so they, but then
uh,
the team turns up, don't they? And they're fighting. They're fighting. The team turns up at
yeah.
the Wayland Utani,
They
and
freeze
she
the
throws a
Callisk
grenade.
and Bud and Deck.
Deck.
That
Um,
and yeah, recovers them. So
Captures them
the
both. So the Kalisk is in a massive containment unit,
mm,
shipping container kind of thing, but even bigger
yeah,
and stronger. And Deck is basically tied down and being experimented on or being analysed. Um,
yeah,
Thea is in the room, but she's strapped against the wall because she's only got her bottom half. And sorry, yeah, and Tessa.
yeah. Oh
She's
yeah,
talking
there was the
to
very
Tessa.
funny bit where she was sorting herself out with her legs, and Deck, while fighting the Callus, gets punched through the building she's in, and just snaps her back in half.
Yeah, so oh come on, she says,
Yeah,
oh come on. Elle Fanning's really good in this, really works.
yeah,
And she's basically Thea's like, right, we're reporting to Mother. We got the Callist, but we've also got a young Yautja.
yeah,
And Tessa's saying he's a runt. He's not a typical specimen. He's no use to us at all.
mm,
And Tessa's like, yeah, we're taking him back, and because then she gets affirmation, doesn't she, from
yeah,
mother is pleased and all that kind of stuff. With these two, he's just
yeah,
an extra that's been picked up, like a Yautja to analyze. Um, so um, So he's strapped down, but
Yeah,
they're doing things to him that's obviously agonizing. Um,
yeah.
um,
They are.
so
They stick like probes in the side of his head.
and he
It's
said
quite
we maybe
unpleasant.
and Tessa's trying to figure out how to stop this happening. And she says, "Look, if you stop experimenting, you can actually get out of him how all his tech works, and that's a win, right?"
Yeah.
And Tessa's like, "Okay," and she leaves one of the mail out. And she says, "Analyze him and try and find out how his tech works." She
Mm.
leaves. Anyway, he picks up this little container thing, and yeah, Thea and the Oucher, she does understand him, but the androids don't, right? So
Mm.
he says, tell him it's a map," and she's like, "Well, what in his language? What is it?" And he goes, "Oh, it's just a child's toy, but tell him it's a map."
Yeah.
And so he activates it, and it blows his head off, right, or
Yeah.
something
It
like
like
that.
fires something through his head.
Um, and she says, "That's a child's toy." He goes, "It's a Yautja child's toy."
Yeah.
um, so they that means that Deck manages essentially starts to get away. There is
Yeah.
a scene where it's like, "I thought we were together on this." He basically is betrayed. He feels betrayed by her, and she sort of tries to make it. But we do see that she spends all her effort trying to get him, free him, and let him escape, even though
Mm.
she can't. So he manages to basically jump out the back of the ship while it's traveling really fast. Um, so Tessa then reports, "Oh, the Elcher died.
Mm.
We have some of his tape, but the Elcher died because she don't want Mother to know he's escaped, right?" And Mother's or the computer's like, "Oh, in that case, the Elcher it's not a problem. The Elcher is no longer a threat." However, we get the montage, don't we? Get the sports montage
Yeah. Yeah.
where he kind of uses the planet to build some more primitive but effective weaponry. He builds a whip from the razor grass.
Yeah.
What else? He
He
gets the
builds
horns or something for
yeah, so he
knives.
he takes the teeth and claws of the like raptor thing that was fighting him in the poisonous plant area, and turns them into like wrist blades. He takes the armor of the big sort of elephant things that he was
Yeah,
hunting with Bud, and he wraps it all together with the living tree stuff that he had encountered initially, the ones that took all this equipment before.
yeah. So he binds that, and he also finds one of the the weird arrow
Oh
eel
yeah, the
things.
eels. Yeah,
Which
they
was the goofiest bit of the whole thing? How did he train that thing? Right, basically put it on its shoulder, so it's like a biological shoulder
yeah,
cannon.
version of the shoulder cannon. Yeah, it's
But he
great.
does it. He just throwing food about and stuff.
Yeah,
So so he wants to go, but he also realizes, but he finds Bud, and he realizes
he's
the
a baby
Kalisk is
Callis.
Bud's
Yeah,
mother. So
yeah,
he's not hunting the Kalisk anymore. He's rescuing
yeah.
Bud's mother, in effect, right? So very noble, very noble.
Mm,
Um,
good at him.
he's really, I mean, there's a lot of stuff we left out. He does talk about what happened with his brother and how his father killed his brother and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
we know he's suffering from a lot of pain, even though he's not showing it, and grief. And that's
mm,
kind of challenge what he's doing, right? And he's realizing you don't betray your family, you stick together, right?
yeah,
Um, it's kind of awesome,
yeah.
right?
It's a
um,
great
so
sort of sequence.
so he then they get into the base and they start taking out, but basically the Deck and Bud start taking out the guards, and it's funny because at some points we get Bud running around wearing the cloak like he thinks he can't be seen, right?
Yeah,
And the android's like, "What is that?" And all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
So they just start destroying all these guards with like a razor whip and
yeah.
shoulder. Sorry, the
It's the shoulder
blades.
dart thing, but he's
Yeah.
also like letting the other animals out, and they're
Yes.
kind of dealing with the issues.
Yeah.
To find the base, he actually goes back to the original sort of site where he fought the Kalisk and just lets Thea's legs go.
Oh yeah,
They're still connected to her.
they've also got
So
Thea's legs.
yeah.
Help him
And
with
he
that.
just follows the legs as they
Yeah,
walk around.
yeah. So they managed to free Thea, who does some good sort of stuff to help them. For example, she's let out and she's just about to escape, but she sees some of the androids there, so she just goes like she's turned off. So she's
Yeah.
just lying there. And then her legs kind of join in, and the top and the bottom sort of coordinate to take out, as two agents in the fight, take out
Yeah.
one of the end. It's all that kind of stuff. It's very cool. Looks good.
Mm.
So they get out, and Deck is sort of saying, we're here. I'm not here to hunt the Calisk. I'm here to free his mother and stuff like that.
Mm.
Um, so they Tessa then turns up and there's a big fight, but the Kalisk
Yeah.
eats Tessa basically. Well, there's a fight. She's in like the
She's
almost
in
like the
a
loader
souped up,
thing.
yeah, a souped up version of the power loader from Aliens.
Aliens. Where
Except
she
it's
has a
not. This kind of makes me wonder where in the timeline it's supposed to be, because this power loader looks more advanced
yes,
than
yes.
the power loader from Aliens.
It does. But she has a fight with it, and or it could be you use more advanced ones on scientific expeditions, and the basic
Yeah,
ones are
it might
on
just be heavy
ships for
fuel because they were
aren't
like
designed to do anything other
grunts.
than loading,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
She has a fight with it, but it essentially, and it's a cool fight, and we're kind of skimming over. You got to see it,
yeah,
right? You got to see it.
yeah. There's
Um,
only so much times we could say this is a cool fight.
yeah.
Need to go
Uh,
watch the film.
So
So,
it swallows Thea, right?
mm,
So the Calice swallows Thea,
yeah,
and you
they let the Callus out and it fights so we get like a big monster versus big robot fight.
and we get Deck and the Calice put their heads together the way he does with Bud, right?
Yeah,
They just put their heads together to show that they're part of the same, uh,
yeah,
not tribe, pack, whatever. And as they're walking away, the Calice starts to act weird and basically freezes from the inside and explodes, right?
mm.
Um, So
And
I'm
Thea
trying to
is
remember
left
what.
stood there with holding the freeze grenades, because while she was in the big mech, she was using Dex Predator tech against them,
Yes.
so
Oh
throwing the
yeah, I've forgotten
grenades.
about that. Yeah. Um,
Mm.
Deck basically um kills Tessa and takes the shoulder cannon and stuff like that back, right?
Mm.
Um, and Bud rips out her head and spine. Yeah.
Yeah,
um, so that then it cuts back to Yalcha Prime, and we
yeah,
see the ship returning, and Dex stride out, doesn't give a shit, man, because
yeah.
he's been through a lot. And his father comes out and he says, "I have bought my trophy," and he throws it, and it's a metal.
It's
Uh,
Tessa's head.
yeah, it's Tessa's head. Basically, it's metal, right? A metal head, a bit
Yeah,
like a Terminator head, really. Actually,
yeah.
um,
Come
so
to think of it,
and
yeah.
says, "I demand, I want my cloak."
Mm.
And he'll say, I think he says something like, "You'll never be part of the clan." He goes, "I don't need to be part of your clan. I have my own clan, but I want my
Mm.
cloak." Right? Um, the father thinks he's ridiculous and just orders two massive bodyguards, to just kill him. And Deck just wrecks these two.
Yeah,
Totally wrecks these two. And then duels with his own father, doing exactly the same damage to him that his father did to Deck's brother, right?
yeah.
And then even
Very
catches him in his own
satisfying.
trap. The father's like, "Yes, I've realised you are worthy. Let me
Mm.
go." And he also says, "Submit," or something like that, and you will
Yeah,
be part of the clan. He's like, "Nah, I'm not being part of this clan," and he basically chops his head off, right?
yeah,
But takes his cloak. Um, oh no, Bud bites off Mule's head.
yeah.
Yeah, he's got
He
bigger.
takes
He's got bigger,
yeah.
right?
Bud has grown on the travel back.
Yeah.
He
So
is
basically,
far larger.
Deck, um, Tessa, and Bud are their own clan, right? That's.
Yeah,
But we see Thea finally repaired in this one, properly. Well, she was kind of all together in the other one for a bit. Um, um, so they all the other predators standing around, the rest of the clan pull out their
Yeah.
weapons, and then suddenly another Yautja ship turns up. And Thea said, "What's the? Is it friendly? What is it?" And he goes, "No, that's Mother."
Yeah. Smash
Film
cut to black.
crash
Yeah.
ending. Yeah. So what the hell's going to go on? So what a film! What a
Yeah.
film! Really cool. Really cool.
Yeah. Very
Um,
fun.
yeah, I'm glad the Predator franchise is in really good hands at the minute. I mean, Prey was awesome, right?
Yeah.
And this was terrific, and we like Killer of Killers too. So there's been three really solid entries. Is almost the best of the Predator films, in my opinion. It's really
Yeah.
close. He's up there, right? But this was a solid. Who would have thought an entire movie where a Predator is the good guy? It's essentially kind of Rambo, right? With a Predator, or with a better Mad Max, or I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know what you call this. It reminded me a bit of the Borderlands video game in places, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, Badlands. Really, really fun film.
Yeah.
Um, right, let's have a look. I mean, this reviewed well. I believe it did well. It made its money back and more. It's on Disney Plus now. Or I don't know what it is overseas, but it's on Disney Plus in the UK. Here we go. On Rotten Tomatoes, 86% positive from
Okay.
269 critics. That's a lot of critics and a high percentage, right?
Yeah.
So a very significant majority thought it was a very solid film. Um, um, so I'm not. There's loads of reviews of this. So I'm not going to go through them. If there was one or two, I'd pick some out. But there's just too many. I think Elle Fanning was great in this. I don't know. If you had a choice? Would you like to see a sequel to this, or to Prey, or a bit more Killer of Killers, or something different again?
I think well thing is these have both lent themselves really well
Sequels.
to sequels.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what I suspect is that there's going to be some crossover point
yeah,
where they get either the escapees from Killer of Killers meet up, either become part of the same group,
yeah.
or Deck as part of some like got to make up for killing his dad in Predator Society still has to try and hunt them down,
Yes,
something like
it's
that.
it's kind of. I mean, we've also set up in the Predator franchise with Killer of Killers and Predators that
Mm,
sometimes predators will gather significantly good hunters in their own right, or killers in their own right, to
yeah,
use them as a tough hunt, as it were.
yeah.
Right? We've got that all set up, and it's possible time travel's. We don't know that, but it's
I,
possible.
I suspect not.
No, that would be a bit
That's a
much,
bit
wouldn't it?
too sci-fi for what we've seen of this franchise so far.
Yeah, and there is a third planned. I,
I know
you know
there's a
what? I'm
Prey
not sure.
sequel planned.
I'm thinking about it. I'm not. Did this guy direct Prey? Am I yeah, he did. He did direct Prey.
Yes, yeah, he did.
Of course he did. But he's got a third. He's got a third one in mind, but I don't know what the details are. However, there have been discussions with Arnie to talk about reprising his Dutch role, which is quite something.
Yeah,
Um, and there's also discussions going on with Amber Midthunder, the main character in Prey. Excellent job by her as well. There might be a sequel based on that
yeah.
character, so it's possible. And
Most
what?
likely, considering
Yeah, it's
she was in the
basically
sequel hook
predators
for
getting
Killer of
annoyed, and
Killers.
yeah, it's interesting because there's not really a precedent for predators going back and taking revenge if someone beats them, is there? We've not
Well,
seen.
I mean,
Well, there is kinda in Killer
there is
Killers.
because no, it's more that every time they lose, they try and blow up the person that did it to
Yeah,
them.
yeah. It's a touchy one.
That's kind of there
Yeah,
is like
yeah. I wasn't ever sure if that was because we can't lose the tech, or something. I
maybe.
don't know. I don't know.
I always took it as like they would it was a deliberate try because the one that Arnie kills laughs at him while it's doing it.
Yeah,
So
there is that.
yeah,
Yeah. Very solid film. What final thoughts on this one?
very much go see it however you
Try
can.
and see it. Yeah,
So
biggest
yeah,
screen as possible too. at
Yeah.
all. Yeah, this was a really, really fun film that keeps you fully engaged. And as I say, when I went in, it's like, how can you sustain that for
Yeah.
800 minutes? And
And
it totally
yeah.
does. It's
Yeah.
it's kind of a similar vibe to say Rambo, the second Rambo film, or something like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's a touch of that, but there's also touch of how Predators went, and this is a way better film, I think, than Predators.
Oh
But you know,
yeah.
being on a planet with like things around you that's also deadly, right? But they just did it better. This held the tension way better, way better. So yeah, I like this a lot, and it gave us a bit more insight into the Predator culture
Culture.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that, which was kind of interesting. I mean, I wouldn't be adverse to us having another Alien versus Predator kind of deal,
Yeah.
perhaps.
I'd
Slightly
see that being
more
good. Please
different.
base it on the comics, Hollywood. Like
Yeah,
the
the
Alien
first
vs
comic was
Predator
so good.
comic is
I mean,
really good.
I like the first film. I do like the first Alien vs Predator
Yeah.
film. However, why didn't they just make the comic? Because it was such a good story.
Yeah.
Um, and they didn't. They went a different way, and it was a fun film, fun film. But if they'd have remade the graphic, made it as the graphic novel story, it would have been a better film. It would have been more like this or Prey, right? In terms of
Yeah.
how good it is in the franchise, in my opinion. Okay, let's get to rating. How would you score this?
I would score this an easy, well, I say easy, as either low nine, high eight.
Yeah, I'll give it a straight eight. 8 out of
Okay.
10. And I went back and looked at my previous sort of review, and I gave it a 7, which kind of flummoxed me. And all I can think of
Yeah.
was I went in with some expectations it didn't meet, and that wasn't the way to do it. Because as I said, I enjoyed it way more the second watch. I think
Yeah.
it's one of those things. Don't go with expectations. Just
Yeah.
go in to enjoy a film. Yeah, it's one of those. But yeah, really, really solid film. I'm really glad we got to this, and I'm glad that we watched it because I wasn't intending to. I wasn't in any rush to rewatch it, but as you picked up, went with it and enjoyed it greatly. Yeah, so pretty good one.
Mm.
So that winds up this one, I think. All right then.
Mm.
Bye from me.
Bye.